Thank you for purchasing an AltWork. With several years of research and development and many happy customers, we want to welcome you to a revolution in computer use. Whether you are searching for the ultimate experience in performance and productivity, or you are addressing a physical discomfort, the AltWork team is ready to help you enjoy the best experience possible. As you prepare to assemble the AltWork station, it's important to consider all the applications the product supports. Many customers are excited about the focus or recline position. This is for good reason. We see many of our customers using this application to be able to work longer with improved health and productivity. However, customers also enjoy the options to stand, sit upright, and to collaborate with others. It's important to consider all of these applications when choosing the location of your station. You can also review the specifications and dimensions of the product using the link below. To begin assembly of your AltWork station, move all 4 boxes received during delivery to the same location. Make note of all the warning stickers on the boxes as they are moved. The contents are fragile. Before you begin assembly, you'll need 2 adults that are able to lift, kneel, and squat. Full assembly time can take between 45 and 60 minutes, so prepare accordingly. To avoid scratching or damaging the station, you should prepare a carpeted area for assembly before removing the parts from the boxes. If carpet is not available, prepare the assembly area with a large blanket or similar protective solution. Do not assemble the station directly on hard surfaces, like tile, wood, or concrete. Once you have 2 adults and have prepared the assembly area, you're ready to unload the parts from the boxes. When opening the boxes, use caution in selecting the tool for cutting the tape. For example, do not use a large knife blade, as this can lead to damage to parts. The large parts are heavy and should always be lifted by 2 adults. The largest box, which is marked movement core and has handles on the sides, has a specific sequence for opening. With the box upright, find the short side of the box with the 2 square pieces of plywood and the rope tied through the middle. Cut the rope in the middle of the wood, which will release the support brace. Then, find the long sides of the box, where you'll find the white plastic clips near the bottom of the side. Place 2 fingers in the opening of these clips and squeeze, which will allow the clip to loosen so that you can remove it from the box. After all 4 clips have been removed, you can lift the top portion of the box off of the bottom portion. You'll now have improved access to the movement core and, with 2 people, can lift it out onto the carpet or other protective area that you have prepared. Another box to pay close attention to is the box labeled base, which is the long and thin box. This box includes smaller boxes that include parts, tools, and hardware. These boxes are labeled, so make sure they are removed and opened before assembly. With all parts removed from the boxes in the assembly area, take a quick inventory of the parts to ensure that you have everything needed to complete assembly. Let's review a list of the included parts. 4 large parts are included in the boxes. The large parts include the base, the movement core, the seat assembly, and the backrest. There are 5 smaller parts included in the boxes. These include the base cover, known as the E-tray, the desk cone, the cover for the backrest post, the palm rest, and the monitor arm. Finally, you'll find a box of tools and hardware. Included are 2 Allen wrenches, 1 torque wrench, 3 adapters for the torque wrench, 1 pair of wire cutters, a standard wrench, and 5 bags of hardware. You'll also find a foam block, which could be black or purple. You could find 2 white plastic clips and a black power cord in a box, or they may be included in the base. Once you've ensured that all parts are in the boxes, your assembly area is prepared, and you have another adult to provide assistance, you're ready to move to part 1 of the assembly. Part 1 of the assembly process is attaching the base to the movement core. Start by lifting the movement core using a 2-person lift above the base and setting the foam block nearby. You should also have the torque wrench, the nuts in the hardware bag, and the wrench attachment that fits the nuts. Start by lifting the bottom of the movement core and placing the foam block underneath the plastic at the bottom. The block should be 1 inch above the edge of the bottom of the core so that it does not interfere with the access to the middle bracket. If the white cables are not currently tucked into the opening of the core, tuck them in gently so they are not caught while attaching the base. The next step in part 1 is to tilt the base of the movement core so that the holes in the base align with the studs at the bottom of the movement core. This is done by having 1 person standing above the movement core, while the other aligns the stud to the base. This step is very similar to aligning the studs of a car wheel base with the holes in a car wheel. In other words, changing a tire. Take one gold nut and start with the stud at the top left. Then add a nut to the top right. Hand tighten these nuts to start so the base is secure. Then proceed to add all the nuts and hand tighten them. Using the torque wrench, you'll tighten the nuts. The wrench will come adjusted to the correct position for this step, aligned with the third black line from the top of the wrench. Tighten the nuts with the wrench until you hear a click. Do not apply more force to the wrench after you hear the click, as the setting ensures the nuts are tightened using the correct force and will provide the most secure connection of the movement core to the base. Next, have each person stand on opposite ends of the movement core, facing each other. Each person will place their top hand on the silver bar attached to the movement core, with their bottom hand on the top leg of the base. With your hands positioned correctly, gently grab the bar and the base of the legs and tip the movement core towards the base so it's now upright on all four caster wheels. With the base attached to the movement core and the station sitting upright on all four wheels, you are ready to move on to the next part, installing the seat assembly. With the seat assembly resting so that the white Linac boxes are facing upright, notice the side of the seat assembly with the black circular tube at the edge. Also, on the movement core, notice the metal post. It has a specific pattern, looking like teeth. The post will be inserted into the black tube on the seat assembly. To begin, with the fabric side of the seat assembly facing up and the black tube facing the metal post, two people will lift the seat assembly. As you insert the post into the tube, hold the seat at an upright angle, so the forward position is higher than the back of the seat. The person behind the seat will guide the post into the tube, while the person in the front supports the weight. The person in the front will then gently lower the seat, so the front lowers and the channels in the tube engage the teeth of the post. To ensure that the seat is fully engaged on the post, look behind the seat to see if you can see the bolt hole line up with the black slot. Here's what you'll see when the bolt hole aligns with the slot. If the seat is in this position, you'll be able to insert the small bolt provided, which should be labeled with the word seat. Start by tightening the bolt by hand, then finish by tightening it with the Allen wrench. If you do not see the bolt hole in the slot aligned, and the bolt cannot be easily inserted, slide the seat off the post and repeat the previous step. For the next part of the assembly, you'll need to remove the shipping bracing from the movement core. As you remove the bracing, be aware that the front arm of the movement core will naturally rise, as it is not yet weighted with other parts. Start by removing the nuts from the bolts that are securing the wooden boxes. However, leave the bolts in the boxes, even after all the nuts are removed, as the boxes will be removed in a design sequence. Once all of the nuts have been removed, remove the bolts from the wooden box with two bolts at the front of the movement core. Then have one person hold down the movement core arm at the front, while the other person removes the bolt from the box with one bolt at the back of the movement core. Remove the single bolted box in the back first, and ensure the steel bar does not drop and scratch the station. Then, remove the front box and the steel bar. These items do not need to be saved and can be discarded with the shipping boxes. With the seat assembly installed, you will now install the backrest. First, remove the aluminum piece from the side of the backrest where you can see an opening. This can be removed using the provided torque wrench and adapter. This part will be discarded. Next, take the black metal cover and place it onto the post of the movement core. There's a small slot at the bottom of the cover, which should face towards the inside of the movement core. You will know this cover has been added correctly when the edge of the metal falls below the top of the black plastic at the end of the post. Push the cover down firmly to make sure it is secure. You are now ready to have both people lift the backrest. One person will support the weight, while the other person guides the post of the movement core into the channel of the backrest. Once you have the backrest in a position to engage the post with the channel, start with the backrest leaning back or away from the post. Then slowly lean the backrest forward to engage the channel on the post. To fully engage the channel on the post, the person supporting the weight may need to lift their end of the backrest to allow for the post to engage completely. You will know that the post is completely engaged when you can see from the small circular opening of the backrest that the channel hole and the post hole have aligned, allowing you to easily insert the bolt labeled backrest. If the seat back has lowered during the previous step, you will lift the backrest forward and slide it to the top position. For the next part, you'll install the desk cone, which was marked in a box with the base. Start by twisting off the silver knob. Then, insert the bolt into the desk arm. No tool is required for this step. You'll notice a black circular piece inside of the knob. Ensure this piece remains around the bolt hole. Once the bolt is in the desk cone, screw the knob onto the bolt. You will know when the knob is tight by moving the end of the desk cone with your hand. It should be able to twist with some tension. Now you'll install the desk. This is a two-person step. First, find the part of the desk cone with the two bolt holes. This part has a flat side and a rounded side. For the desk installation, you'll want the rounded side facing up. Move the cable from the desk arm out of the way, so it will not interfere with the desk installation. You'll then have one person hold the desk, while the other inserts the bolts into the holes and tightens them with the Allen wrench. You'll notice there are 3 sets of holes. When looking at the edge of the desk, you'll see one edge that is rounded. This is the front of the desk, as it will be flipped after installation. The 3 holes allow you to install the desk at different depths, depending on waist size. For the most room, install the bolts in the holes closest to the rounded edge. For the desk closer, you can install the bolts in the middle holes or the holes furthest from the rounded edge. Once the desk is installed, you can level it to ensure that it's even. You will have been provided a level in your toolkit. Start by tightening the bolt furthest from the desk arm, then loosening the bolt nearest the desk arm. Check the level to see what direction the desk needs to move. You can then tighten the small set screw to raise one side of the desk. Check the level again. Once you have reached a level position, tighten the bolt nearest the desk arm, then tighten the bolt furthest from the desk arm. You can then plug the cable into the desk, and then turn the desk to the position showing the keypad. Finally, you'll install the cables in the E-tray. Make sure you have 3 sets of 2 cables each, which will be labeled, either by number or letter. The cables with numbers will be inserted into the holes on the right, and you will see numbers next to the holes that correspond with these labels. For the cables with letters, they'll be inserted into the holes on the left. Oh, sorry. I was just making sure that was right. I'll do that again Yeah. For the cables with letters, they'll be inserted into the holes on the left, and the corresponding letters for those holes can be found on the left side of the white box. Once all the cables are inserted, you can install the black power cable into the power strip, which you can feed through the hole at the bottom of the E-tray. Once the power cable is installed, plug in the cable and see if the power strip has a red light visible. Then, make sure you can see a green light on the large white box and a green power light on the desk keypad. You can then install the protective clips and use the zip ties to tie down the cables.